Ever been ignored? Let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Culture Connection Conversations, where we bring you relatable stories of diversity.
Hi, I'm Filomena, based in the Netherlands.
And I'm Claudia from Luxembourg.
I'm a certified intercultural trainer working with leaders and SME entrepreneurs.
And I'm a professional coach working with corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as their teams in tech and beyond.
You call us when, as a leader or entrepreneur, your teams are struggling, results are going down, or there's friction.
That's it. Let's get to it.
So, Claudia, Invisible, I think you have a story to share, right?
Yes, it's interesting. It's actually dating from another lifetime of mine. So it dates from way back when I was working at that moment as a senior consulting engineer for a software that sold computer software and methodology to very large high-tech companies in the area of computer verification. In any case, in my job as a senior consulting engineer, I had on occasion delivered 3-day trainings to engineers at client sites. So I have always loved teaching. It's something I always raised my hand to do it because I always enjoyed that part of the job as well. And so my company had asked me, I was based in America at the East Coast at that moment, and my company had asked me to fly to southern France to supervise or just sit in a training that one of our consultants was doing so that he could start, if he passed the test, that he could start delivering the trainings in Europe for us. And
South of France, Claudia, it's not too bad, is it?
yes, southern France. It was in Nice. The site of this company was lodged up in the hills with a wonderful view. Right, it was a big site. Many engineers worked there,
So you
and
probably had a very positive attitude at that time, right?
I had the nice lunch on the promenade on
Yeah,
in the harbor
exactly.
the night before.
Yeah,
Life was good, okay,
yeah.
and I got along famously with that consultant that I'm still in touch with to this day. And so, in this relationship, as representatives of my company, I was the very much senior person. Okay, I was there to certify essentially this gentleman and his company to deliver these trainings.
So were you introduced beforehand or not?
No, so this was the morning of the start of
Yeah.
the
Hmm?
training.
Yeah.
So we were standing there, and in come the engineers that signed up for the training. It was probably like 15, 20 people. Every single one said hello or shook the hand of the consultant who was male and walked right past me. And
Oh, invisible.
I was standing next to him, and I was in business attire,
Yeah,
makeup, and
all smart.
I was there as a business person. They walked past me as if I was invisible.
Hmm.
And it really struck me. And there's so many layers of culture and stereotyping that were just visible in that one behavior of this
I was
team.
just wondering, did it just struck you, or did you feel annoyed, or did you
I,
find
I
it painful?
Well, I felt surprised more than anything. And, I got my little back at you moment right after when I introduced myself
For
because even
sure. Yeah, for sure.
of, I was an engineer myself and I could dance circles around these guys, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, even in terms of experience with respect to them, I could I could have taught him a thing or two, and that came through in my introduction. And after that, their level of respect and all that kind of stuff over the next 3 days was where it should have been. But it was just really surprising, and maybe it was even more surprising so because I was used to the American way. If this situation had been in America, it wouldn't have been that natural to ignore me as a female in that situation.
Well, I was about to ask you, what was the average age of these men walking in? And secondly, different nationalities?
I think there were I mean, this is a long time ago. The workforce wasn't necessarily that global at that point. And it was a different time. They were probably between 25 and 45, so there was a large spread of
Yeah,
age.
age
Uh,
band.
I think what the way that I saw it mostly is, and that had been very often. I was in such a specialized engineering field. I was very often the only female in the room. Even when I was studying at university to do this, I was very often the only female student in the room. Okay, so it was really this engineering teams that were very, very highly male based. In
So
the
basically, what we're talking about now, Claudia, is that it's culture, right? So just to clarify, we all belong to several cultural groups. So in this case, it's culture from the point of nationality, culture from the point of age, culture from the line of business you're in. So, like you say, maybe the engineering field
yeah,
used to be, or still is, I don't know, a male dominated environment. So we are talking about at least 5 to 6 cultural situations you're in just by observing those men walking by, right? Um,
from their perspective, again, this group that they belonged to was in France,
yeah,
not necessarily French by nationality, but they were in France. We do not know what their manager had as an attitude,
yeah,
what culture was at an attitude. Um, you know, the Southern French, sorry, the age thing, the jokes that they pulled in their meetings when nobody else was around. We do not know any of that, but the visible, observable thing that happened was that to them I was invisible. So and again, what it was also very different from what I was used to in the US. And I think that was surprising. Again, I want to reiterate that cultures can be different. Okay. But
totally. Yes.
the big caveat here is that don't assume based on your culture, right? Because even if that's their culture, if they have had some cultural intelligence, intercultural intelligence, they would at least have been mannered to say
Yeah,
hi and not
I think
assume.
it's also about, yeah, not assuming. We all do that, right? We've said it before. We kind of assume it's us and them, and we have our own normal, so to say. But it's proof once again that we all need to do our homework, right? So let's evaluate this situation. I've been there, right? I've been in the same situation as you have been, and it feels a bit awkward, right? And a bit off. And for sure, within 2 seconds, things are corrected, and they know where they're at, and you know where you're at. But when you do your homework, sometimes you can prevent it by giving a different introduction before you meet physically, right? Just pointing out that a female is coming in or there's a female CEO. Is it necessary? Well, it's a big question, right? But on the other hand, that thus you can prevent a situation like this. On the other hand, the engineers should have informed themselves, who is this new lady in the lead or new person in the lead? what's her nationality, his or her, is it male, female, so on and so forth. So we all need to do our homework, not just like book a flight, hop on the plane, walk into this meeting room, sit down and see what happens. We need to be ready before that.
Yes, if we can, not all situations lend themselves to that. And the thing is just, if you cannot prepare, keep your options open. Don't assume that it can't be different from your normal. And these are blind spots, especially because I'm sure that they did not even consciously ignore me out of ill will. They literally did not see me. I was
Yeah,
in their blind spots. It
yeah,
didn't occur to them.
yeah.
And so that is the danger in all of this, that we have to have this awareness when we see people, that we see people.
But yeah, but also awareness as soon as you walk in, the least you can do is not, right?
Exactly that, but for that you have to have a certain level of awareness that
Yeah.
there might be situations where you might not see them, so maybe put a little bit of conscious effort into it.
And we
And
all make those mistakes, right? The other way around, I've made mistakes, not recognizing someone or thinking later on, oh, I made a big mistake. This is actually the CEO walking in. So we've all been there. So I learned to at least not, right? To whomever is in the room. So be aware before you enter and not to everyone present, right? So avoiding mistakes like this. And then later on, you will learn what the position or intentions are of this person. So unintentionally, we can hurt someone, right? Or there will be a setback in the relationship, professional relationship, to say the least. It's quite possible. It will take you years to mend that.
if ever, if ever.
Yeah.
So,
Good tip today, Claudia.
yeah, this was great. Thank you for letting me share this. So big caveats, our cultures can make us blind, and we have to sometimes, put some extra effort into awareness so that it doesn't, and that we
Yeah.
don't put our foot in it.
And maybe in a nutshell, before you enter a meeting room, whether it's a virtual meeting room or a physical meeting situation, be aware before you enter.
Be aware. Fantastic. Thank you, Philomene. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
This was great. I hope that our audience members here have enjoyed what you heard, and if you have similar stories that you might want to share or let us know about, comment please, and or get in touch with us on social media. And otherwise, please show us your love by subscribing to the channel, liking our LinkedIn page, or otherwise engaging. We will be back with much more in the near future. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.